you gonna basically hold her down and fart right in her face. You might as well have did the Rikishi from WWE and just put your ass right in her face.
Hello and welcome to the Golden Octagon MMA Podcast. I am Matt Anderson. On the other side of your screen, he's back. We have Dorian Rose. What's up, man? How you doing?
What's up, man? Doing good. Just had to get a house in order, man. But good to be back. Fighting news was a little dry last week, so um, but a little bit this week. But man, next week the pay per view, that's where it's going to be. But good to be back though. Good to be back.
You definitely didn't miss much last week, but I had us taken care of. It's all right. Got to keep that consistency going for all our fans out there. We did gain a few subs this past week, and we are grateful for that. We appreciate you guys for hitting that sub button for us. But before we get started, if you guys wouldn't mind, please put a thumbs up on the video. And if you aren't already, please sub to the channel. We'd greatly appreciate it. And leave any comments below. Let us know if you think we're talking some trash or if you think we're correct, if you agree with us or not. Anything before we get started, Doris?
Nah, man. Let's get it started.
All right. So before we get started, let me give you guys a quick rundown on today's show. We're going to start off with the main topic of Conor McGregor versus Jorge Gamebred Masvidal. It seems to be a lot in the news lately, and we're just going to talk about it just a little bit here. Next, we're going to move down to fight news, just some fight news and announcements. Nothing too much this week, but a few key points to note. Our featured fighter this week is going to be Nate Diaz. We're going to give our thoughts and opinions on his whole situation right now currently, and where we think it's going and who we think it's going to end up being that he's going to be fighting next. And then lastly, we're going to give our thoughts and our opinions and our picks on this weekend's fight night, Jairzinho Rozenstruik versus Alexander Volkov. Yeah, with that being said, let's get started, man. So first topic of today's show, Conor versus Jorge Masvidal, dude. You want to talk about this? So I'm going to let you lead it off.
Yeah, no, I just think it's a little bit interesting because you can see Masvidal, his last couple fights, he's chosen some really tough fights with picking a fight against Usman 2 times in a row. And he ended up taking the fight against him on Fight Island, and then he got the rematch with him when they first got the crowds back in 2021. And of course, in the second fight, he ended up getting slept by him. And then his next fight off of that was against Colby Covington. So he was constantly fighting, the top of the division, guys that going into the fight, he was a betting underdog against. Now, against Conor McGregor, it seems like Masvidal at 37 almost seems like he's almost willing to kind of maximize what's kind of left. It was almost like that 2019 run. I don't want to say that it was like a fluke or anything like that, but it was just like he was just on like such a magical run. I remember, people were saying, "Oh, he's going to sleep Usman," and things like that. But I just think it's interesting to see, kind of where he's at this point and kind of calling Connor out. But I actually like the call out. I think as far as where both fighters are, both of them are kind of in a position where Connor's coming off the 2 losses against Dustin, and yes, the one loss was a broken foot, so you can give him that, but he's still coming off even before that the knockout loss, and as Jorge is coming off the 3 losses in a row. Both guys actually need to get a win, and I think as far as the fight itself, I think both guys can really, really market the fight as far as the promotion goes. I think as far as trash talking, dude, can you imagine the types of the press conferences that would be going on between them two? The way both of them can talk shit and everything. So I think it would be really interesting if that fight were to happen. I don't know if it's going to happen just yet, but I would love to see them put pen to paper on that.
it would for sure be interesting. And I don't see why UFC isn't at least trying to make it, because I feel like without a doubt, that's their two biggest stars right now that don't hold a championship. That could be the highest selling pay-per-view of all time. And with no championship attached at all, it almost seems like it should happen. Like the UFC is missing out on a huge opportunity if they don't to at least try to make this fight. Who do you think wins, man? If it's made.
Man, I don't know. That was kind of my thing. I was kind of going back and forth because both fighters are kind of in a both fighters are in a similar position where they're both coming in off of some losses, and they've looked good, or they've had moments in their fights. Colby did pitch a shutout against Masvidal outside of that one moment where he got dropped, but Masvidal has lost a lot of rounds here recently.
But you almost like forget, like I almost like forgot that fight even happened, dude. It's like, oh yeah, Colby and Masvidal did fight recently. Like it's almost like, I don't know. It's like the fight didn't happen because it was, I don't know. It's like it just wasn't
that boring
like
of a that boring of a decision.
Like fucking sticks in my head, dude. It's like, oh,
like the Usman,
they did fight, yeah.
The Usman one sticks in your mind because Usman fucking flatlined him.
Yeah.
And to have Masvidal be put away like that. So I'm not going to sit here and say Masvidal's chin is gone by any means, but obviously it's been tested here as of late. And with Conor, I think a little bit of the same with him. And I think a lot of the time off that he had took between. I know he had the Cowboy fight in between that second Dustin fight that he had at the beginning of 2021, but Conor had a lot of time away from MMA. And I just think, going into that fight, the calf kicks were like a thing that he had never heard of before, just because the sport moves so fast and he's not really that active. So I just don't know if that ring rust is going to set in. I think I would have to favor Masvidal going in, but we all know that they're going to go in there and bang it out. I think Masvidal has a little bit of a better gas tank overall, but that fight is completely up in the air. I think the betting lines would be pretty close just because where both of them are at right now.
Yeah, same. So you would favor Masvidal. I would say he would probably be the betting favorite, to be honest, but I feel like Masvidal would play the game that he wanted to play, and he's not gonna I don't think he's gonna throw leg kicks at him that much. Like fucking Masvidal hasn't ever been like a huge like fucking leg kicker. He's got a lethal body kick, throws that with disgusting intent.
That body kick is money.
Yeah, but not too big of a leg kicker. So that being said, dude, I feel like it's a solid matchup that should be made. And how could I go against them? Let's go, baby. Team Conor, Dublin, Ireland. I just happened to have this shirt on too, and we started talking about this, so it was actually kind of funny. But yeah, I would go Conor via knockout, simply because I feel like that's his only method of victory. And Jorge showed that recently, dude, if like you can hit him straight enough, clean enough, hard enough, he'll go to sleep. And if there's one person that can do it, I feel like fucking Conor has the power to do it. I don't know, up at 170, he's only had a few fights, and I wouldn't call a Cowboy fight really a proof of a test at 170. And like the other two fights at 170, like he was a 145er at that time, moving up to 170. So it would be interesting like to see him with an actual 170-pound frame, how he would do his fucking gas tank and all of that.
Well, I was just curious as to if you think Conor, in the position that he's in, it seems like he's been a little bit committed to wanting to stay at 155 and try to fight for the title. Do you think that would be a fight that Conor would want to take, considering that Masvidal is indeed a money fight, but he is what people would consider a bigger guy just because of weight class difference, and it would kind of take him off track for potentially fighting for a title?
I could have swore that he said that he wanted to move up to 170. I'm not sure. Um, I think he should, man. Like, man,
Well, he's been calling
everyone,
out Oliveira a lot here lately. I mean, you got to think he's been calling out Oliveira a lot, and Oliveira has been trying to get the fight against him.
man, I think he needs to go up to 170. That's where all the money is at right now. He's about the money. Let's just see it. Poirier is going to go up to 170. Fucking Masvidal's there. Why not, dude? Why not? Like leave fucking 155 for Oliveira versus like fucking Makachev, fucking Gaethje's in there still too. Chandler's there, dude.
Which fight would you rather see, McGregor Masvidal or McGregor Oliveira?
For sure, McGregor Masvidal, without a doubt. I don't want to see fucking Conor get choked out, dude.
Why not? I was about to say, that's normally the way he goes out against those guys.
Like
so,
he could sleep him,
yeah,
but
he
he could sleep him, but at the same time, he's gonna have like a fucking 3 or 4 second count, and it's just gonna he's just gonna like recover, fucking stand back up, and find some way to get him to the ground to choke him out. So I would much rather prefer the Masvidal fight for Conor, without a doubt. Dude, you are. It's just it considerably got blurrier and blurrier.
Yeah, dude. And I was trying not to do the damn thing, but of course it's acting up on me again.
All right, so while there he goes. I thought I was gonna have to move along without you, man. So yeah, so anything else on this fight aside from you would have to lean Masvidal, and you don't think that Conor should do it?
Not that Conor shouldn't do it. I think more of I don't think it would be a good move for him, just because I do think just because we're both of them are. I think McGregor needs a win. I think Masvidal, even though he's been on a 3-fight losing streak, he's fought some killers and Colby and Usman. Those 3 losses in a row are against those 2 guys. So, but I think Conor really needs a win to try to keep his momentum going, and I think Masvidal is just kind of a bad matchup for him.
You're telling me that you think like the Masvidal is a worse matchup for him than Oliveira?
No, well, at that point, he's going to be fighting for a title. So, of course, you could throw everything out because he's going to be fighting for a title. But
Masvidal, or name someone else at 155. Chandler? I wouldn't favor him against Chandler either.
Michael Chandler, Tony Ferguson.
Tony Ferguson, maybe. That's it. I wouldn't favor him against many other people, dude.
But I mean, you can put him up against any of those types of guys, and I think he'll be more considered a favorite than he would against Masvidal.
I think that one would be rather close. I think that one's closer.
I think
that one would be closer than what a lot of people think that it would be. I don't think it would be plus minus 200 over that either way. Like I think it would be a rather close fight. Like at max minus 200 Jorge, like plus 175 Connors, like something like that.
Yeah,
like it wouldn't be anything like outlandish. Yeah. All right. So
I agree about that.
Anything else here, man?
Nah, I'm good on this one.
All right, fair enough. We're gonna move on down to the next topic. We got some fight news to announce. Yair Rodriguez versus Brian Ortega. It is official. July 16th in Long Island. Dude, I'm not gonna lie, like that one's kind of tempting. Like I am going to be out of town for that one, but that's like fucking that would be one that I would go to that one. It's not too far away, dude, and it's like it's a fight night, so it's not too much cheddar to go to. But I'm a fan of both, dude. It would be a fun one, but I'm actually going to be in Jamaica that weekend, so I will not. It's going to be hard to bet on that because I'm going to be there that whole week. So hopefully I don't know.
You got to place that bet early in the week.
Dude, I'm going to have to fucking place it like a week and a half early because I'm going to be gone like that Monday through the Friday. So it's like, are the odds even going to be there yet? It's like, I might have to
You're not
send
going to get
Dorian
any.
I might have to send like fucking Dorian some fucking cheddar to fucking place a bet for me. Like he's gonna be like, dude, you're gonna lose this. I'm like, it doesn't matter. If you win, you can keep 10%.
At the house. At the house.
Yeah. So anyway, that is July 16th. Anyway, Marvin Vettori versus Robert Whittaker is going to be rebooked for UFC Paris. Maybe. What do you think is going to happen there, man? I don't know if I got your opinion on that fight. Who do you think wins that one?
I would have to say early thoughts. You got to think Rob. I think for Rob, I think he really is the second best guy in the division. Him having the 2 losses to Izzy, that's nothing to be ashamed of, because other than those 2 losses to Izzy, he's never lost a middleweight. So, he's defined himself as one of the better middleweights of his era. And I think for Marvin, I think, his method of victory is going to be to take Rob down. Rob has really good takedown defense and really good footwork. I think he can make it boring by staying on the outside, or I think he might be able to do similar to what he did with Jacare and potentially knock him out. I think Vettori, he's got a chin from hell, and he showed that against Costa. But Whittaker, you get a battle tested Whittaker like that, and he's motivated. I mean, man, he's capable of taking anybody out on any given night.
Fair enough. One thing about like Vettori that I just want to know is just he's so damn tough, dude. Like that's like his chin, dude. It's like anyone else in the division would have been out with half the shots that he's just taken, dude. But it's almost like that's the only thing he has to offer, because he just walks through shots and then leans up against people and tries like to take them down, dude. He's not finishing anyone. Sure as hell not anyone in the top of the division.
Hey, yeah, exactly. Yeah, so he'll finish like lower tier guys, but not the top of the division.
Yeah. So like that being said, it's like that would honestly be probably close. I'd probably lean Vettori, dude, just because of the gas tank. He doesn't run away, and he's always there, dude. And I could see him if like he can get a hold of Rob, dude. I can see him pinning him up against the fence and just like winning 3 of the 5 rounds like that, man. Like, but I think it would be rather close. I'm gonna be honest. I might lean Vettori though. All right. Anything else?
Yeah, that's surprising. That's surprising. Yeah. I think I think Rob's going to probably be every bit of minus 220, minus 230. I think he would be considered that big of a favorite in that fight. I'm surprised you lean Vettori.
It's just Rob's motivation, man. It scares me. It's like, are you in this, man? It's like, and when he's there, he's good, but we just have seen him like sometimes, dude. He's just like, maybe he's not. I don't know. It's like maybe he just wants to do something else. I don't know. All right. So next fight, we got one that I could not wait to talk about with you, dude. We got Paddy the Baddy Pimblett taking on Jordan Levitt, announced, dude, for UFC London. It was that card that we talked about a few podcasts back now. We're like, I wonder if Paddy's going to be on that card. And sure enough, he's on that card, taking on the Monkey King, Jordan Levitt, man. First thoughts on this fight?
I think for Paddy, I think the biggest thing for him really is going to be the grappling. I think he's going to have to. For Jordan Levitt, there's one avenue of victory for him. Taking it down, and he even had admitted at this point, win by awkward decision. So if he can get an awkward decision, hold him down, do his thing, he'll be more than comfortable with doing that. So I'm curious to see what Paddy Pimblett, he's one who likes to initiate the grappling. So is he going to have to resort to his striking in this case, or is he going to be able to have the scrambles or things like that to be able to get up off his back? Or is he a submission threat off his back enough? I think that's where the matchup, and that's where it makes it interesting.
Fair enough. Personally, I don't see a way Paddy doesn't win this fight. simply because UFC knows what they're doing, dude. Jordan is going in for the takedown. He doesn't have good striking. He looks for the sub while he's down there. Fair enough. Paddy has shown that he has knockout power, which Jordan does not. So that is an avenue to victory. But personally, I think Jordan is going to continuously shoot in for this takedown, and I think Paddy's going to end up fucking subbing him. Like fucking Jordan doesn't have the power to get him out of there. Paddy's too slick on the ground. He could knock him out on the feet too, but I just think fucking Paddy via sub, that's the way that one's going to go, in my opinion.
I think Paddy could potentially knock him out. I think that's how it ends up going. I think Paddy ends up keeping him on the feet. How live
is the fucking club and sub though? Like that's like 75% chance club and sub, 25% knockout.
Yeah, I mean either, but I mean you've seen what he did against Luigi Benjamini when he first came in too. I mean he made it a striking affair and knocked him out on the feet. So
how good is Luigi Benjamini though?
How good is Jordan Lovett? Especially his striking.
He has multiple UFC wins though.
Yeah, check it, who is against. Not really credentialed guys. I mean, Matt Wyman was a guy who was off for 4 or 5 years before he came back and slammed him.
Beat him in like fucking 20 seconds. That was
the guy was off for like 5 years.
That's what should have happened though.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. So it's not like he's fighting
to win
top tier guys either.
I don't know why I'm arguing like I got for 11. I'm picking Paddy to win this.
Right. Yeah, you're talking like as if Luigi Benjamini and Jordan Lovett is just not. I think grappling wise, I think it is. But as long as Paddy, if he wants to keep it on the feet, I think he could potentially knock him out. I think if he keeps it on the feet, he does knock him out.
Fair enough. Yeah. So do you think Paddy wins, or do you think like fucking Levitt has a chance of like the victory at all? Yeah.
No, I really don't, and I really do believe that. Yeah, I believe that Paddy will win by knockout. I think he'll kind of rush him. Jordan Levitt's a guy who doesn't really fight in the chaos like that. Paddy's pretty comfortable fighting in the chaos, and he can come out on the other side, as we've seen him. In his first 2 UFC fights, he's kind of had some adversity in each of his fights, and Jordan Levitt, I don't think he's really a guy who's for that action as much as Paddy is.
Dude, I think it's a solid step up, but as everyone says, they want to get paid before they take anyone that's going to be worth like the risk, and I think it's a perfect matchup. Jordan's not going to knock him out. I think that's the only way like that Paddy loses right now against anyone is like for them to just knock him out, and Jordan Levitt just don't have the power to do it. Now, if he fights like, fucking Terrence McKinney, like Ilya Taporia, fucking someone like that, dude, then it's going to be a completely different story. And I do think that he will get fucking mollywopped because they will put his fucking lights out.
Yeah, he needs a few more fights before he's fighting the top
but they're
tier.
Not ranked any higher though. That's the thing. It's like they could easily make that matchup, but it's like if the UFC's smart, they'll stay far away from anyone that has any type of power that could possibly put him out.
Exactly. That's what. Yeah, I mean, I think he's kind of even mentioned it as far as the Sean O'Malley treatment with them giving him just. Yeah, I know that burns you. It burns you to hear that, but yeah, he's even mentioned the Sean O'Malley plan as far as fighting maybe not the top tier talent in his first couple of fights to let him get acclimated to fighting in the UFC before he's fighting the top tier. So I mean, I don't think anything's wrong with it. You're just helping a fighter get some growth in his game before you try to throw him into the lion's den. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it at all. And plus, Jordan Levitt, I mean, grappling wise, he is a pretty decent matchup for him. So I still think it's an interesting matchup. I just think Paddy wins.
Fair enough. So that being said, we are going to move down to the next topic of Nate Diaz, man. Nate Diaz this past week said that, he just, I mean, I feel like for weeks on end now, he's just been like, "Hey man, I just want to fight." Like, but this past weekend, or like this past week, he was just like, "Hey, fucking, I'm trying to fight. This person's not fighting. Kamzat got married. Blah blah blah. Let me have a fight." What's the issue, man? Like, is the UFC going to get him a fight, or are they going to try to, I guess, hold him in this GSP way, and then just until like for the next, I guess, what, like fucking 5 years or some shit, until it's like expired, until he can actually fucking go out and actually do his own thing? Or are they going to get him his last fight so he can just peace out, go box Jake Paul? And if so, who do you think that they're going to try to match him up against? Because they've been trying, but they can't get nothing happening.
Well, I think the biggest thing is I think Nate's just wanting to go ahead and get that final UFC fight in, and then I think he wants to go ahead and dip out so that way he can utilize himself. And if he does want to box with Jake Paul, I really don't think he wants to box Jake Paul. I think a lot of it's just bravado. I don't think he wants to put himself in the position to for him to be as a credentialed of a fighter as he is. He only likes fighting those type of old school type of guys. I really don't think he's going to give Jake Paul the time of day, but I do think there's celebrity matchups that he can make potentially outside of the UFC, even if he does end up fighting like some boxers or whatever the case may be. But I think the biggest thing the UFC is trying to do is one of the things that they do with fighters who have one fight left in their contract. They offer them a fight, but they also give them a new contract with fights added. I'm wondering if Nate Diaz is in a position to where he's telling the UFC, "Hey, I don't want to add more fights to this contract. I want to fight this one fight and get out of here." And I think they're kind of in a tug of war. And this is just me being like conspiracy theorist. I don't know anything as far as the insider information, of course, but I would think that that's potentially a struggle there, is if the UFC can't get Nate Diaz to agree to want to stay with the company longer than one more fight, because like him or hate him, he's a pretty big star and people show up to watch him fight, win or lose, even if he's a pretty severe underdog, like the Leon Edwards fight. And Leon Edwards is one of the very few guys who is able to make a Nate Diaz fight boring until the very last minute. And that's why people love Nate Diaz. So, he's got such a big following. And I think the UFC doesn't want to try to lose that by any means. And I think they're probably in a tug of war as far as Nate Diaz wanting to try to, get one more fight and get out of there.
I just kind of feel bad for him at this point, dude. It's just like, fuck, dude. Can we just get him a fight just so he can go out and like do his own thing? Like, I just hate seeing this over and over. Like the UFC is almost like holding these dudes. Like, bro, can you just let him go at this point? It's not like he has years left. He has at max 3 good fights left, dude. Just let him go. It's not like he's their main draw right now. Like the UFC has plenty of other stars that aren't Nate Diaz, dude. Like he hasn't fought in a long time. He like fights once every 2 years, dude.
But people show up to watch him fight, though. That's the thing. Like I remember
but if
like
it's
I remember
once,
Daniel Cormier saying I'm sorry, here, let me get this real quick. I remember Daniel Cormier saying when he was fighting Stipe on I believe it was DC Stipe 2, and they were fighting in California, and he said that crowd went absolutely berserk for Nate. Like he said when Nate Diaz walked out, like he could feel the ground shaking in the back in the locker room because that crowd was going nuts. And that's why I said, like, he is older, but people do show up and he puts butts in seats, and he gets people to order the pay-per-view, and that's just a cash cow for him. So I can understand them not wanting to let him walk.
Fair enough. But if he's made it publicly clear that he doesn't want to fight any more than one more fight, and he's not going to fight one more fight, why not give him this one more fight, cash out one more time, and be done? Because if you just hold him up, he's not. Nate Diaz seems like the guy he's going to do exactly what he says. I don't think he's hurting for cash, dude. I think he makes lots of money with like his fucking schools, his fucking classes, his companies. It's like there's plenty of other avenues where he's also making that bread. I don't think that can we just get this over with? Can we get him a fight and get this over, dude? Like, that's what I was saying. If it's like, if he's only fighting 1 or 2 times or like if he's only fighting once every like 2 years anyway, how much are you really going to make him? Like at him being 37, dude, he's only going to fight 2 more times.
But it's just the ability to have his fighting rights, similar to what they're doing with George St. Pierre. And by the time George St. Pierre is out of his contract, like you said, he's in that 5-year holdout. By the time he's out of there, I mean, hell, what's he going to be? Damn near 50. By the time he's going to be damn near 50 by the time he's out of the contract. And it's just so they can have his fighting rights for whenever he does want to take a fight. And it's not just, let him go because he only fights 1 or 2 times a year. It's just, or 1 or 2 times every 2 or 3 years, maybe. It's just for when he does fight, hey, he's going to bring in the money and we don't want to miss out on that opportunity.
But if he's made it clear that he has 1 more left, that he's even going to fight with the UFC, and like, why are you like, the only reason that they're doing this is to block him from going anywhere else after this last fight.
Right. That's what I'm saying. I'm not agreeing with it. I'm just explaining it just to say that, yeah, it's just that they don't want him to walk out and potentially make money on someone else's dime. Like, they want to be able to maximize every Nate Diaz dollar they can because they have him under contract right now. And they understand that they're at a disadvantage on leverage as far as the contract goes, because Nate Diaz has 1 fight. He doesn't have to take another one, and they're probably trying to pressure him into signing on to more fights on another contract.
Oh, for
and
sure.
I can see Nate Diaz saying, hell no. Yeah. So, I mean, I'm sure that's a lot of the struggle, just me being conspiracy theorist here. I could see that being a lot of the struggle, and Nate Diaz saying, hell nah, man, I'm trying to get out of here.
Yeah, dude. It's like at this point, it's just sad, dude. It's like, bro, he's 37, right? Like he's up there. It's like,
who doesn't
have any left.
Who do you want to see him fight?
I really couldn't care less. Like, just give him a fight so he can peace out, dude. It's like, at this point, it's like, it's so redundant, dude. It's every single week, dude. It's like, I can't get on Instagram without seeing a fucking, like a screenshot of a Nate Diaz tweet, dude. It's like, fuck, dude, can we just get him a fight? It's
yeah, I get it. I think if I could choose to see him fight anybody, I would like to see him fight Poirier, just to go ahead and make that fight, because
it isn't like he's not trying to fight. He says that he's willing and he's trying. What's the issue? Get him a fight, I think UFC doesn't want to give him a winnable fight. I think they want to give him someone that he's for sure going to lose against. However, he's probably doesn't want to take anyone that doesn't have a name. That doesn't
make sense for him.
Yeah. Like, for sure, anyone at 170, fucking Gilbert Burns, Vicente Luque, Khamzat Chimaev, he's losing to all 3 of those without a doubt.
Yeah. I mean, he's losing almost all those guys.
Yeah.
Pretty much all those guys. I think he could potentially lose to. Likely everybody in the top 10. I mean, if you're going down to like Wonder Boy and guys like that, maybe as well, I think Neil all those guys beat him.
He fucking might beat Neil Magny. That's it.
I mean, Neil Magny, I mean, we know the cardio machine he is, man. He'll jab you and keep it moving. So,
but he's not even taking that fight though. Like, that's the thing. So,
no.
Yeah.
So, but still, it's just the point.
Yeah. All right. So we're gonna stop ranting at this Nate Diaz, but we wish him well. We hope he can get a fight, dude. I just want this to be over with. I'm sure fucking you do too. Like because once he gets 38, I don't want to see him fucking fight anymore anyway. It's like y'all are holding at this for so long, dude. He's gonna be old. Just let him go. All right.
Dollar bill.
This upcoming weekend, man. Jairzinho Rozenstruik, or I'm sorry, UFC Fight Night Volkov versus Rozenstruik. I've been doing the opposite this whole time, but up first or main event of the night, obviously Alexander Volkov versus Jairzinho Rozenstruik. Dan 50K Ige taking on Movsar Evloev. Mike Trezano taking on Lucas Almeida. Karine Silva taking on Poliana Botello. Poliana Botello. Ode Osborne taking off Zaruk Ashadev. Is that right? Ashev. I'm just going to go with that. Adashev had Alonzo Minifield taking on Asgar Masarov. I think that's it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 6. So one of those definitely going to be on the prelim. Now I'm actually going to click the prelim section here, but the main event of the prelims. Here we go. Felice Herrig taking on Karolina Kolakovich. Karolina Kalvukevich. Dude, these names this week are just, dude. But
some tongue twisters.
But for me to be, just rocking with it and actually knowing them, I'm pretty proud of myself, dude. I'm aware of how to say them. They're just hard to get out there sometimes. So that's actually one of the vets, dude, and probably the last fight, or maybe probably the last fight for both of them. For sure, probably the loser. They're both on a losing streak.
I was gonna say they're both vets. Yeah, they're both vets.
Yeah. Joe Selecki taking on Alex De Silva Colho. I think Colhio, one of those two. Damon Jackson, dude. Damon Jackson, the vet. He looks crazy, but it's fun to watch. Taking on Dan Agueda, I think that's how you say it. Nicholas Stolze taking on Benoit St. Denis. Johnny Muniz taking on Tony Gravely. Let's go, Tony Gravely. Shout out Tony Gravely. Jeff Molina taking on Zagulis Zumagulov. Renate Finkenroth taking on Andreas Michaelides. Aaron Blanchfield taking on JJ Aldrich to start out the night. So we got a hell of a long card, dude. This one is going to be a grip of a night. Prelims starts at 1 p.m. Yeah, I was gonna say that prelims start at 1 p.m. So we will be able to watch that early on in the fight. The main card starts at 4 p.m. So keep that in mind. So that is all the fights, dude. So we're gonna make 3 picks this week because there's a lot of fights on this card that we have no fucking clue what's happening. But before we make our official picks for the pick champ of the week, Dorian, before the pick champ of the week picks, which fights on here do you want to talk about just a little bit?
I mean, one of the guys, Tony Gravely, just a hometown guy, he's one of the guys that I'm curious to see. He had that one knockout loss. He was fighting real well. He had the guy hurt at the end of the first round.
He knocked him down.
I think it was Simon Oliveira was who it was.
He dropped
when he was fighting Simon Oliveira. And it was almost similar to Michael Chandler and Charles Oliveira, where Charles Oliveira was getting beat down by Michael Chandler at the end of the first round, and then come the second round, he completely turned around. Same thing to Tony Gravely. So I think he really needed to it was Nathan Maness who he had got knocked out by. He got the win against Simon Oliveira.
Nate Maness.
But yeah, that's who he got knocked out by. But yeah, I am excited to see him. He had a little bit of a sluggish fight. I know he just had to get a win under his belt. He didn't want to start 1-3 in the UFC, so he's 2-2 right now. And I'm curious to see if he's going to kind of resort back to that wild style that he usually fights with, or if he's going to be a little bit more kind of tempered down because he's training it down at ATT. and getting some good training there over his last few camps, and really wanting to see if he can kind of put it all together a little bit.
Fair enough. Me and Dorian are Tony Gravely fans. He is from our little hometown area. Was a wrestler at Virginia Tech for a little bit too. Yeah, something like that. Like wrestling coach, something like that. Something like that. But he is a hometown guy for us. I am no longer there, but I still root for the hometown guys. That's what's up. So yeah. Let's go, Tony Gravely. we do it every week. We do it every week, man. One that I guess I kind of that I want to talk about. Aaron Blanchfield taking on JJ Aldridge starts off the prelims of the night, dude. Aaron Blanchfield put it on Miranda Maverick in her last fight, and I'm a Miranda Maverick fan. She was a hometown girl here, like in this area. Well, she's not from here. She's from like Missouri, like, or something like that, but trained out here at a place like I could literally walk there in like 10 minutes, like literally like not too far. Like it's right by the Starbucks that I go to every fucking morning. It's like right there. So I was a fan of her, always fucking rooting for her, but Aaron Blanchfield put it on her in the last fight, man. Really opened up my eyes, and I said, oh shit, she is someone that needs to be put on notice. She's taking on JJ Aldridge here. I really think Aaron Blanchfield is just going to be a dominant performance. I don't know if she's going to get the finish, but it's for sure going to be a wrestling heavy performance, and definitely interesting. Another one, Jeff Molina taking on Zagula Zumagulov. Jeff Molina is a fucking James Krause dude. You want to talk about that for a second?
Oh, Zumagulov?
No, fucking Jeff Molina is a like a James Krause guy, yeah.
Honestly, I wasn't too sure. I'm not super familiar.
I think he is. I think it's like Jeff Molina.
I know Julian
like
Marquez.
Tim Elliott, Julian Marquez.
Tim Elliott.
Yeah. It's like all of them.
Yeah.
I'm almost positive like fucking Jeff Molina is one of their like fucking one of them. But I believe Zagula Zumagulov in his last fight fucking got that quick ass fucking rear naked choke or some shit like that, or like he got knocked out like real quick. One of the two.
Yeah, I believe so. That's what I'm actually trying to look at now.
Anyway, that's going to be a banger. That's going to be a banger. Definitely a fun one to watch there. I'm probably going to be leaning toward Jeff Molina, but dude, Zagula Zumagulov, the dude he's old as shit, but for some reason still like moves, still got power, and interesting fight. And what is that? Yeah, that's at 125, dude. 125 is just getting fun these past few years, man.
Yeah, no, it really ever since and honestly, you can kind of mention that Cejudo kind of saved the division as far as, it was on the chopping block there for a little bit, and Dillashaw, he said he was sent down to kill it, but Flyweight's been on fire here lately, especially with the interim title fight announced too. So yeah, it's definitely becoming a super fun division.
Who you got in the Alonzo Minifield versus Askar Malshar fight? Because like Alonzo Minifield's like one of those guys that he came in with like Phil Hall's, like those guys, where it's like they've shown that they can be good, but it's like, man, they don't tend to look too good against these new guys that have power, dude. It fucking kind of worries me like a little bit. I don't know a whole lot about Askar Malzarov, but he's 21-11, dude. He's got a shit ton of experience.
He's got a lot of experience, but I do think Minifield's been he's been putting it together a little bit more as of late. I do think he's also just got KO power. I think he'll be able to I think he might be able, especially a UFC newcomer too. I don't know how quick the Askar took the fight, because remember when we looked at the card last Wednesday, there was only one fight announced, and that was the main event. So we don't even know how recently these people have accepted the fight.
Yeah.
UFC jitters, especially to the debut for him. I gotta go with Minifield.
All right, fair enough. So that being said, let's pick the three that we want to pick on, man, and just talk about those for just a second. That's going to be the main event. Alexander Volkov taking on Jairzinho Rozenstruik. We got Dan 50K Ige taking on Movsar Ivlev, and the main event of the prelims, Felice Herrig taking on Karolina Kowalkiewicz. Those are the three that we are going to pick on this week for this week's Pick Champ, dude. Which one do you want to start at, man?
We can start down and work our way up.
Fair enough. Let's start. Karolina Kowalkiewicz taking on Felice Herrig. An interesting one. Two vets, 36 versus 38. Felice Herrig, 5'3", taking on the 5'2" Karolina Kowalkiewicz. 115-pound fight, obviously. Reach about the same. Edges to Felice Herrig for an inch. 14-9 for Herrig, 12-7 for Kowalkiewicz. One thing that I know that you can't see on paper, but stands out in person without a doubt, is the shape that Felice Herrig is always in, dude. She is always fucking bricked up, shredded, muscled as much as you can be to be this weight class. She has to have a hard time fucking making weight. And dude, she's always in shape. But on the other hand, Kowalkiewicz, dude, it's like she almost, when she came on the scene, everyone's like, oh, she's the next Valentina, but at 115, and then fucking Joanna exposed the shit out of her. But that being said, dude, they're both older in their career. I think Kowalkiewicz striking advantage. Both of them, I don't think either one of them are going to get knocked out. I think this is probably go all the way to decision. It's just going to be like what's going to play more. I like Felice Herrig trying to get it down with the wrestling, or Kowalkiewicz with the picking her apart where she can pick her out. I got to go Felice Herrig here, man. I got to go Felice Herrig by decision.
Man, so what I actually did not realize is that this is, and I'm actually looking at it now, that this is actually the rematch between these two. These two actually fought back in 2018. Yeah, I was not hip to that knowledge. Before just now, as I was looking, as I was realizing that Carolina is actually on a 5-fight losing streak. So I didn't realize that I knew she was on a little bit of a skid, but she has not won a fight since that brutal Andrade knockout.
I said that at the beginning, I was like, both are on a massive losing streak.
Yeah, but I didn't. Yeah, right. But I didn't realize it was 5, and so basically she hasn't won a fight since 2018. Like that's brutal. And I think for Felice Herrig, for her, she's had a lot of bad breaks over the last few years. She's wanted to be active. She's just had a lot of injuries. So I remember she tried to end up coming back in 2020, and she had the loss to Jandiroba, and then I believe she ended up tearing her ACL because she ended up having a quick turnaround and tried to get back in camp and tore her ACL and got injured again. So it's like she can never catch a break with her injuries. You just don't know where she's going to be at. I think for Carolina, man, she really, really needs a win right now. But I do think that Felice Herrig is going to have the wrestling advantage. It just depends on, I don't know, man, if she's going to have any octagon rust or not. I think Carolina really, really needs a win. I mean, if she doesn't win now, I think she might as well call it a career. But just for the hell of it, let's say Carolina.
Okay, fair enough. All right, fair enough. On my little list here, I wrote Felice versus Herrig. So,
I'll let you man, that's gonna be a tough fight to pick.
I know. So Dorian picking Karolina Kowalkiewicz. I'm going Felice Herrig. Dude, it's for sure going to be like a close one. It's probably it's got to be one of the closer fights as far as fucking like the betting line. Yeah. I mean, it can't be heavy either way. Let's see.
I would have to imagine, if I'm just guessing right off, dude, I would have to imagine
minus 120 for Herrig, plus 100 for fucking Kowalkiewicz. So basically,
yeah,
is even as you can
close
basically
to a pick 'em.
Yeah.
It's close to a pick 'em without being a pick 'em.
All right, so a nice one to pick on this week. Hopefully, we can get some versatility this week. So our next one, Dan 50K Ige taking on Movsar Evloev, dude. Movsar, I believe he's undefeated in the UFC or undefeated overall. Yeah, 15-0 taking on 15-5 Dan Ige. This one's a tough one for me because Movsar is good. He's undefeated, 15 fights, undefeated, dude. You're doing something right. But on the other hand, he just hasn't fought. If you just look at his like record, he hasn't fought anyone the caliber of Dan Ige. And Dan Ige has fought multiple people better than him and on his level. I don't know, dude. This is a tough one because Movsar is good everywhere, but he's not great. His name will tell you that he's a great wrestler, but it's like he's not really there. He's won all of his fights in UFC by decision, doesn't have a finish. I believe Dan 50K is live here as an underdog. What's the odds? I gotta see this. Dan Ige is a plus 310 underdog here against minus 410 Evloev, man. I don't think Dan has the power to put him out, dude, but he's definitely live to win. He's for sure live to win, dude, because Evloev hasn't fought anyone remotely close to the level of 50K, dude.
Well, you know that wrestling.
Damn, dude.
And Dan Ige has fought the top of the division, but he hasn't necessarily won.
I'm gonna let you pick here, and then I'm gonna go the opposite, man. Because like fucking this one, I think could go either way.
I mean, honestly, I truthfully think that I think it's going to be a really tough fight for Ige. I think the only way he truthfully wins is if he knocks him out. I think Movsar, I think in his last fight against or I don't know if it was his last fight, but I remember his fight against Hakeem Dawodu. I do remember that he had some success against him wrestling in the first 2 rounds. But when it came to the 3rd round, it was like Hakeem Dawodu saved all his energy and just started pressing against him. And I think Movsar Evloev, he ended up gassing out in that fight. And I think there were some lessons learned. Even though he ended up winning the fight, he had kind of got a little lackadaisical there in the 3rd round and let Hakeem tag him up more than he probably should have let him. And I think against a guy like Dan Ige, you just can't make those types of mistakes. I think he ends up sharpening those tools. I think he ends up getting a decision win. I think Dan Ige is too tough to be finished unless he just gets completely flatlined. I think his jiu-jitsu is going to be good enough to where he can defend himself against any submissions. But I do think that he ends up getting grinded out. Pause.
Fair enough. For the sake of just the picks for today, I do think this could go either way. I don't think that fucking Movsar should be a minus 410 favorite over Ige. I think that is too much. Dan is way too good to be a minus 410 over him, dude. I'm going to go Dan 50K, but if I lose like fucking this one right here, I'm not going to be too surprised. But just for sake of the show, I'm going 50K, baby. Let's see if he can get that fucking knockout. I doubt it, but maybe decision. Anyway, the main event of the night, Jairzinho, Biggie Boy Rozenstruik taking on Alexander Drago Volkov. Is that right? Alexander Drago Volkov? That's his nickname?
Yeah,
I think so.
I believe so. Honestly, I just call him Volkov.
If not, we're going with it. Volkov. Dude, this is a good one. This is a tough one. This one is also, this has got to be close too, yeah?
As far as the betting line, what I see on FanDuel right now, Volkov's a minus 170.
I got minus 150 Volkov, plus 130 Jairzinho, dude. I think those odds should be like a little bit wider, to be honest. I don't think Jairzinho is big enough I don't think he's got enough reach to get to him, dude. And you saw, dude, aside from the Derek Lewis fucking knockout, like fucking Volkov was like, he doesn't really get finished, and all of his fights look the same, dude. He tends to do I like the finishing in his last fight against fucking Tom Aspinall. Tom Aspinall's a fucking bulldozer. I'm just gonna throw that one out. Biggie Boy is not the ground level of fucking Tom Aspinall. This fight's not going to the ground at all. Don't get me wrong. Jairzinho can put Volkov out. However, I think Volkov's too big. He's going to keep his range, and he's going to end up winning by decision. Alexander Volkov by decision is the way I am going.
I think the fight, the line, I would say it's about right there because I just think with Rozenstruik, he's capable of just throwing a bomb at any minute, and he's capable of putting anybody out.
Dude,
everybody always points to the Overeem fight.
He's able to put old people out and Augusto Sakai out. Like, I don't think.
But you got to think his losses were also to Francis Ngannou, UFC heavyweight champion, Cyril Gane, former interim UFC heavyweight champion. So
both massive guys like Volkov. That's what I'm saying.
Right, but I'm saying as far as like, I mean, I don't want to sit here and just act like Biggie Boy's not a good fighter.
Yeah.
But I mean, is he going to be UFC champion? No, but his losses are to the heavyweight champion and the former interim heavyweight champ, and then he has a loss to Curtis Blaydes where Curtis Blaydes out wrestled him. And honestly, you can make the argument that Curtis Blaydes might be the second best guy in the division. So all his losses are to all credentialed guys. But I do think as far as the way they match up, I think with the way that Jairzinho strikes, it's almost like he's just waiting for a bomb. He's capable of putting combos together, as you've seen against Augusto Sakai and some of the guys that he's fought on his come up. I just think that it's almost like when he gets to the top tier, it's like he almost watches his work a little bit too much, and he wants to wait for like the perfect counter shot, and those guys just aren't going to give him that opportunity. And I think for Volkov, I think Volkov's obviously he's going to have the reach advantage. I think the biggest thing for him is just to not allow Rozenstruik to get on the inside. I think he can treat Rozenstruik similar to the way that he did against Derek Lewis up until he got knocked out by Derek Lewis, by keeping him at range and being able to basically pick him apart from range. So if I had to pick, I mean, just going with my gut, I mean, just with the way everything's kind of matched up, Volkov, it seems like Volkov. Yeah, it seems like Volkov by decision. That just seems like the easy pick.
Yeah, I'm gonna say one thing to point out to keep your eye on is watch out for Jairzinho's like leaping hooks, dude. Because if there's one thing that will catch Volkov, dude, it's gonna be is if he throws a kick or something, fucking Jairzinho sidesteps it and then fucking throws like his like leaping hook like he fucking like he knocked out an Overeem with, dude. That's for sure live, and that's pretty much the exact way like the Derek Lewis knocked out fucking Volkov. So it's live to
Hail Mary.
It's live to happen. It could happen, dude. But at the same time, it's like I think the Volkov he's put on size, he's put on strength. His chin is solid. Fucking Cyril Gane tested that like a few times too. I think fucking Volkov, if he's smart, he should win this by decision. So that being said, that is just a quick little preview and our picks of who we think is going to win this week. Real quick on the main card, aside from the ones that we made a pick, who you got in Mike Trizano versus Lucas Almeida?
Not too familiar.
They got to go Mike Trizano because I have no clue who Lucas Almeida is.
Just for familiarity, I have.
Yeah, fair enough. We're both going Mike Trizano there. Karine Silva versus Poliana Botelho. I don't care who wins that one. Who you got there, man?
I really don't care either.
Fair enough.
Yeah, but
Ode Osborne taking on Zaruk Ashadev. I guess familiarity wise and just the looking at the record, man, you got to go Ode Osborne. The other dude's 4-3, taking on the 10-4 Ode Osborne. And then
and it's like an 8-inch reach difference too.
And then I think we're both going to go Alonzo Menifield. But what does scare me, dude, is the amount of just experience like the other dude has in that fight. So that being said, that is it for this week's topics. We do have one more topic, a quick little thing on slow weeks that we're going to do, weeks like this where we don't have a whole lot of topics. We're going to share a clip. I'm going to share a clip with you this week. Next slow week, I'll fucking tell you, find something funny or that you think's funny, and you can send it to me. But I sent you a clip right before the show. You want to go ahead and view it, and I will put it up on the screen so all of our viewers can watch this at the same time, and let's get your reaction.
I am so full.
Christmas has been just wonderful, Grandma. Just wonderful.
Oh, good. I'm glad you had a good time.
Don't want to step on the hose here. Sorry.
What?
Come on, man. Grow up.
What are you doing? What are you doing? No.
Oh,
why?
Goodness. So that.
Why,
that
man?
What do you think, man? How fucked up is that?
Man, I wish she had something in her hand to fucking nail his ass, dude. Why would you do that? Oh man, yes. Yeah,
the most fucked up part is it looks like he does it on the regular. Like that's something that he does like multiple times. Like every time he gets the opportunity, he does that.
Yeah. So just to walk it through, like basically a guy is walking through his grandma's house, and his grandma's on an oxygen tank, and the guy walks by the oxygen tank and farts in it. And his grandma ends up picking up the smell through her oxygen tank. So that is something that he's definitely familiar with. He's done it a couple times before. I wish she had had something in her hand to just nail his ass with as soon as he had done it. How
absolute
freaking disgusting
of the earth, dude. That's so fucked up that you do that to your grandparents, dude. Like either she had to have been really mean to him fucking growing up or something, dude, because that is just a disgrace. That's foul, man. That's foul.
That's foul.
That is
he might as well spit in her face. That's how disrespectful that was. You gonna basically hold her down and fart right in her face. You might as well have did the Rikishi from WWE and just put your ass right in her face, because that's basically what you just did.
Yeah. Anyway, so that is it from us here this week. Remember, if you enjoyed today's show, please put a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you are not. No last words from me. I'm Matt Anderson. Anything, Dorian, before we get out of here?
Nah, man, a little bit of a slow week, but I think the UFC does this on purpose, where they have the fight weeks be slow because the pay-per-view is building up for next week. That's the one I'm going to be excited for.
Indeed. Pay-per-view next week. We got Yair Prochazka taking on Glover Teixeira, one that I cannot wait for. But that is all from us here. Matt Anderson, Dorian Rose. We'll catch y'all next week. You'll catch me Friday for Change and Shadow, Dorian. As always, you're more than welcome to fucking join me, dude. If not, no worries, dude. I'm going to give you my opinion, my bets, and we're going to try to turn $10 into $100 or more. But that's all from here this week here on the Golden Octagon MMA Podcast. Change and Shadow Friday. Peace.